All right, so the first thing we are going to do is go here to plugins. There's a few plugins that we need to install to make WordPress a lot better. So we're going to go to install, we're going to go to plugins, the thing will pop out, and we're going to go to add new. We are going to add a new plugin. Now, these are the suggested plugins. Classic Editor, we don't need that, we don't need that, we don't need that. And we are not using Gutenberg blocks or BuddyPress. So we're going to search for Brizy, B-R-I-Z-Y. And we are going to install the Brizy page builder. I like the Brizy page builder. I like the Brizy page builder. There's two main, well, there's quite a few different page builders, but I like Brizy and I like Elementor. Elementor gives you a ton of options as far as making fancy websites, web pages. It's a page builder. You can use their templates or you can build it from scratch, build your own web page from scratch using the blocks and stuff and the tools that they provide. Now the same thing goes with Brizy. Brizy is also a page builder. They provide you not as many features as Elementor, and there's not many add-ons for Brizy. I don't know of any add-ons for Brizy right now, but the stuff that they do provide works really well. It's really good with responsiveness. Let's take a moment to talk about responsiveness in websites. Let's say you're building a web page using some run-of-the-mill page builder. You get finished building out your website on your fancy beast mode desktop or laptop with a very fancy ultra-wide monitor, and your site looks fantastic. But what you failed to do is test the way your website looks on mobile devices and tablet-sized devices. You're super excited that your website is done and it looks amazing. So you naturally send your link to your friends, your family, your co-workers, and even your neighbor down the street that you really don't get along with. You feel confident and accomplished, right? Well, your best friend that has no filter hits you back and says, "What is this scam site you sent me?" You're confused at this point, right? Well, the reason your friend thinks your site is a scam site is that you did not use a page builder that enables you to check and adjust your website for different size screens. This is what responsiveness is all about. I like it. I have the pro version as well, but we're going to start with the free version, and maybe I'll show you some features from the pro version, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. We're going to build a website with Brizy, and we're going to build a simple website with Elementor. We're going to build websites with both page builders, and you can decide which one you like better for yourself. So we're going to install now. Now we're going to search for Elementor. Elementor. Did I spell that right? I don't know. All right, so we got the Elementor page builder, 4+ million active installations. So we got 4+ million active installations for Elementor. This is the top dog page builder for WordPress right now. It's very powerful. You can build pretty much any website you want using Elementor and some additional add-ons for Elementor. But we're going to keep it simple, and we're going to only install Elementor Page Builder, and we are going to install Happy Elementor Add-Ons. I like Happy Add-Ons because it has some features such as page cloning that works really well. You can clone Elementor web pages that you've already built. You can clone it and then edit it slightly to make another new page using the same template that you just previously created. And this add-on right here also works with cloning Brizy web pages, so you can make a web page with Brizy and then use this add-on to clone it. Now this add-on also adds some other functionality as far as like animating blocks, animating buttons, animating text. You can make the text pause in and out like that, so you can draw attention to certain text, or you can make it move side to side or up and down or diagonally to draw attention to certain elements on your web page. So we're going to install that, because it's a really handy plugin and it doesn't annoy the crap out of you when you install it. A lot of these plugins, you install it, it's asking you to upgrade, get the pro, do this pro version, buy this, buy that. This one doesn't really annoy you too much, and because it doesn't do that and it provides a lot of functionality right out of the gate, I may just decide to buy the pro version one day because I use it so often, and they constantly update this one, the Happy Elementor Add-Ons. So we're going to activate that one. It takes us to this menu right here. We're going to activate all of the plugins that we just installed. We'll use this menu here to activate all of the plugins that we just installed. So Brizy, we're going to select it. Elementor, we're going to select it. And the Happy Elementor add-on, we have already activated it. These are the plugins that are installed already, that are already activated. So we're going to do a bulk option, and we are going to select activate and then apply. So we can activate both of those in one shot. If you install maybe 15, 20 plugins on one shot, you can come to this page and activate them all in one shot. So saves you a little bit of time. All right, so if you want to rate them, you can rate them. I already did. I already purchased the pro version. So we're going to close that up. We don't want this. We don't want this here. Want to help make Happy Elementor add-ons even more awesome? Allow Happy Elementor add-ons to collect non-sensitive diagnostic data and usage information. No thanks. So we're going to select no thanks for that. You can select yes if you want. All right, and now we are going to go back to the plugins because there are some more plugins that I want to add on. I want to install Yoast. Yoast is an SEO plugin. I spelled it wrong. There we go. We're going to install that one. And I think I have everything that I need right now. Oh no, one more. One more. This is going to help you. This is another tool that's going to help you make sure your website looks correct on all device screen sizes. So if somebody looks at your website on a mobile phone, it's going to look nice. It's not going to look like crap. And this tool right here will make sure that your website looks good, and it'll allow you to make minute adjustments to certain elements for different size screens so that your website looks good across all different device types, all different screen sizes, and you won't have anything funky, somebody looking at your website and saying, oh my God, this looks terrible. I'm not coming here. This website looks scammy. But you can tune it with this tool right here. It's free. There's a pro version of this tool, and I actually do have the pro version on one of my websites, and it works really well, but you don't need the pro version to make sure that your website looks good on different screen sizes. So it's called Yellow Pencil. Yellow Pencil. It's not actually called that, but when you search for Yellow Pencil and when you install it, it says Yellow Pencil on the WordPress admin in your back office here. It says Yellow Pencil. But when you search for it, this is what comes up. This is it right here. Visual CSS Style Editor. That's what we're going to install. All right, so now we're going to activate those. Install plugins. We'll activate them. Deactivate setting. Oh, right here. Activate. All right, so everything is activated. Now, where should we start? Should we start with Brizy or should we start with Elementor? Let's start with Elementor. I haven't used Elementor in a while, at least not the 9 Pro version. So we'll start with Elementor. So we will go. Let's go to pages and create a page. You can go to posts and create a post. Posts will come up on the front page of your website in your feed. It'll show up in your feed. So this is the front page of a website that I put together quickly. And as you can see, there are 6 posts shown under the header of this website. Now, should I make a new post, as I mentioned moments ago, the new post will show up on the front page of this website. Now, WordPress is super flexible, so I could literally make some changes in the admin area and have more than 6 posts pre-displayed at a time. I could even have my front page display no posts at all if I choose. The possibilities are endless with WordPress. Now, if I wanted to have more than 6 posts here, I could literally go into the settings in the admin area and change that to have 8 posts, 10 posts, 12 posts, or however many posts that I want to be displayed on the front page of this website. Possibilities are endless, as I mentioned earlier. Endless possibilities. So just keep that in mind when you're making a website post. The post will be displayed on the front page of your website. If you're making a page, the page will not be displayed on the front page of your website unless you choose to. You can put the link to the page on the front page of your website, or you can have it displayed in the post format depending on what theme you're using for your website. But by default, the posts are shown on the front page of your website under WordPress. So unless you change your theme out or make some changes to the settings, the post will be displayed on the front of your website. And if that's not what you're looking for, make sure you select pages when you're creating some content for your website. Just something to keep in mind. All right, let's get back on with this tutorial. So we're going to go to pages. We're going to select pages. And this is a list of all of the pages that are available right now. We have the privacy policy and we have a sample page. We don't want to work with either one of those. So we are going to do this, which would be add new. All right, so when you hit pages and you add a new page, welcome to the block editor. We don't want the block editor. We are going to use Elementor right there. So we're going to X that out. You can check that out if you want. That's WordPress's built-in page editor, page builder. It's okay, but we're not going to use that. We're going to use Elementor. We're going to start our tutorial with Elementor. This is new. They made some changes on the new WordPress. All right, so let's go here, add new page. And we are going to go with the edit with Elementor. You know what? I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go back. Exit to the dashboard. And we're going to set up our page attributes first. All right, so before we start building our page with Elementor, we want to select our permalink. We don't want our slug to be /Elementor number 8. We don't want that as the name for our web page. So whatever you want the name of the page to be, it could be a test page or landing page 1, landing page 2. That's what we'll do. We'll change it to test, or let's go with demo page, demo dash page. And there we have it, mywebsitehelper.com /demo dash page. Now we are going to go with our featured image. We need to add a featured image that's just over there. So we'll set a featured image. That will be the image that displays. See how it says not secure right there? You don't want that on your front end of your website. So let's see if our SSL has been, let's see if we can install our SSL now. We already, it's been some time, so let's see if our SSL is able to be installed now. Sometimes it takes a little while. So let's go to our SiteGround control panel. We are going to go to security, SSL manager. And we are going to select let's encrypt. Let's try the wildcard, see if that works, and then we'll get it. Now this is something to keep in mind right here. Once your SSL certificate is installed, don't forget to configure your web application to work via encrypted connection. We can configure those settings inside of WordPress, and I'll show you how to do that if this works. It seems like it's working. It's doing a little bit more than what it did the last time. So hopefully we can get through this process and completion right now and see what happens. Look at that, it went through this time, and we have our wildcard encryption. All right, so plus one more, name star plus I guess that means any subdomain that we create, we can create a subdomain. So it would be like mynewsite.mywebsitehelp.com. That would be a subdomain. So that means that any site that we create, that star is like a wildcard symbol. So it can be anything that we create as a subdomain. We'll also have an SSL certificate on it without having to do this process over manually. Now that's how I have my other websites configured, so that I only have the Let's Encrypt SSL certificate. So every time I add a subdomain, I have to go back into SSL Manager and add an SSL to that subdomain. It looks like, I'm guessing that this star means that any subdomain will have an SSL on it. So it's active. Now let's go into WordPress. As I stated, I would show you how to set up an SSL on the actual WordPress website. Now, there's one thing to set up the SSL within your control panel for the hosting, which would be SiteGround. That's what we did just moments ago. So now we have to configure WordPress to actually use the SSL certificate. Instead of HTTP, we want HTTPS, and we want to enforce that within the settings of WordPress. So we're going to go into the back end of WordPress, and we are right here. So we're going to go to settings, and I believe it's under general settings. And right here is where we would make our changes. Under general settings, we would go to WordPress address URL, site address URL. And prior to our changes, I already made this adjustment without the video being recorded. Let me stop doing that. I already made this adjustment before recording. So all I had to do, let me show you what we did. This is it. So before making the adjustments, this is what it's going to look like in the back end on the settings and the general section of the settings for the WordPress website. It's going to have HTTP, mywebsitehelp.com, HTTP, mywebsitehelp.com. And the only thing you would need to do is change that to HTTPS, change that to HTTPS, just put the S there and scroll down and save your changes. That's the only thing you need to do and you're all set. Now there's another way you can do it from within SiteGround. I like to do it both ways, but let me show you how to do it from within SiteGround, and that should cover both methods. All right. So let's go to SiteGround. This is our control panel area. We are going to log in. Which site? Let's change that. Oh, they made some changes. This is a little different. So let's choose our website, my website helper, mywebsitehelper.com. They didn't really do too many changes. It seems like they just made these buttons over here smaller. Still pretty much the same options there. So we're going to go to site. No, that's not it. Security. Here it is. HTTPS enforce. That's where we want to go. So what this does is it enforces HTTPS. So even if someone tries to go to your website using HTTP mywebsitehelp.com, this will automatically change that to HTTPS. See, it says HTTPS enforcer. So we're going to turn that on. And now every time someone visits our website, no matter what they type into the browser, our website is going to automatically change it to HTTPS, which will enable the SSL secure socket layer encryption on our website, which is a good thing, you know, gives us the benefits of improved search results, more legitimacy, so on and so forth. So that's it. That's the only two ways that, well, that's the two ways that we can use to change our website from HTTP to HTTPS. Let's proceed with the rest of this video. So let's first choose our featured image. Let's select the image from one of these images I have on my computer. We will choose, blah, 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 blah. Let's choose this one as a featured image. We got a robot waving to us. All right, so that's our featured image. Let's give our image a title, test page image, or demo page image. You should always try and name your images, because when people do a Google search for images, they're searching for images by keywords. And if you name your image, if you put this information in, there's a possibility that your image will pop up during a Google search and people will be able to find your website with that keyword. So just always try and name the images that you add to your website. So we'll name this demo page image. Just put whatever you want here. Just put some keywords, something that's descriptive of your website and or your image. Featured image robot. And then we'll set the featured image. All right, so now we've got our featured image set. And let's move forward. Let's go. All right. We have our page named Permalink, demo page, mywebsitehelp.com/demo page. And we have our featured image. And we could choose the position of our featured image with that little button there. That's a Brizy feature. Oh, what did I do? There we go. That's a Brizy feature right there. This isn't an Elementor feature. Brizy gives you that dot so you can choose the location, the center point. That little dot, you can move that around and choose the center point for the image on let me show you what it's going to look like. Right here, this is the plugin that we installed a few minutes ago, Yoast. This is an SEO plugin. So this is what it will look like on a mobile search result. This image right here is a featured image. That's the image we just set right there. So that's what it's going to look like. So let's change this up a little bit. Site title, my WordPress. Separator, that's the dash right there. Page, that is the name of this page, Elementor number 8. It was named Elementor number 8, but we changed the name to demo page. So that will update once we save the settings. Once we click publish, that will update to the name of the page, demo page. Actually, the name of the page hasn't been set. Let's change the name of the page. This is what's going to show up right down here. We can change that manually so that it can say whatever we want. Other than this, we can have this say something and then that say something else. So we'll change this to demo page 1. We'll change it to demo page Elementor. All right, so now it should say, see it says demo page Elementor because we have that there as the title. That's like a token. So if you put the title token there, it's going to have whatever the title name is there, and it's going to show up there. And whatever the website is, this would be the page token. So whatever the page is, it's going to show up there. Page, demo page. That's the name of the page. That's the slug, demo page. And the separator. We don't want that. We can't keep the title. We can keep it like that if we want to, if you want to. But we're just going to name it whatever we want. Demo page showing how to build a page with Elementor. Be sure to check us. Oops, that's too much. Let's just go with check it out. You want to keep that bar. You see that bar right there? You don't want to go too much because then you're not going to show all of it on, all of the words there are not going to show up on the search results. So you want to have, just keep it short. Just keep it within that span right there. So let's go check us out. That should keep us within that frame right there. All right, so we have demo, spelled incorrectly, demo page showing how to build a page with Elementor. Now, the focus phrase. The focus phrase is basically your keyword for that page. So whatever the focus phrase, whatever your topic is for that web page is what your focus phrase should be. Whatever you want somebody to search for and find your page, you should put that there. So if you want someone to search for how to build Elementor page or how to build WordPress page, and it's always a good idea, according to Yoast, that's why I put the plugin, because they make suggestions. This is the free version, and you see I have a sad face there. That means I have poor SEO. Following suggestions made by Elementor, you want to have this focus phrase typically at the beginning of your page SEO title. So we're going to copy that and just get rid of that. I should have done it that way. Control V. All right, so how to build Elementor page with WordPress. How to build an Elementor page with WordPress. And then you can add whatever else you want to add after that. Easy steps. Easy to follow tutorial. Perfect. All right. We have our slug. You can change the slug here, or you can change the slug here by selecting Permalink. No matter where you change it, it's going to take effect. If you change it there or you change it there, it's going to make the same effect. We already have it named, so we don't need to change that. And then you'll add your meta description. You see how it has those, says please provide meta description by getting the snippet below. So you're going to provide a brief description of what you have going on your web page. This, you know what? Let's put the this as well. It's also good to have this somewhere towards the beginning in the meta description. How to build an Elementor page with WordPress using our easy to follow guide. Come check our WordPress how-to tutorial for building web pages, for building landing pages or blogs. All right, that's good. So let's see what we got. See, we have an orange SEO now. Orange is better than a red. Orange is like, I guess, a yellow. And if you get green, that means you're doing good. Readability is going to be red face because we don't have anything on our website yet. So that will change as you go along. Now, there's other options with Yoast SEO. You can do social. You can change it up. So if you were to share this web page on a social, it'll look like this right now. This will pop up if you share it on Facebook. You put this web page in your Facebook post, and you know how it shows you a snippet of the web page. It'll look similar to that. If you decide that you don't like that and you want it to look different when you share it to Facebook or Twitter, then you can go ahead and select that and change it as you see fit. You can change the Facebook options, and you can have it look differently for Twitter as well. But we're going to leave that alone because, you can play around with those settings yourself. All right, so the next thing we're going to do, we have our permalink set. This will be when we're finished with the page. We'll set it to public visibility, but we're not done with the page yet. So we're going to close that featured image up because we're done there. Discussion. You can allow comments or you can choose not to allow comments on your page. You'll have a little section at the bottom of your page where people can leave a comment about the content of your page if you want. That might be handy. That actually will come in handy if you, because it can give you traffic. It can bring traffic. Showing, what do they call that? Not interaction, engagement. When Google sees engagement on your page, it's a good thing for SEO. That much I do know. I'm no SEO expert, but I do know that engagement on posts, on pages is a good thing. Traffic, good thing. So you can enable that if you want, if that fits the needs that you have for your web page. Page attributes. Now, when we're building an Elementor page, you can choose the default template, Elementor canvas, Elementor full width, cover template, full width template, or Brizy template. We're not building a Brizy web page, so what I'm going to choose is Elementor full width. I like to choose Elementor full width because I don't have to make my page full width, but this gives me the option to make my Elementor page full width, which is what I'm going to choose, either that or the canvas. I think you'd be fine with either or. Let's go with canvas. Let's go full width, and if it doesn't work out, we'll switch it up. All right, no parent page. We don't need a parent page. That would be if this page is like a sub page of another page. So the parent page would be sample page, and this page that we're building right now would be like a sub page, like a tree type diagram hierarchy. So one page would be above the other page, and you select that page from within that page. And yeah, but we're not doing that. So now we're going to go to edit with Elementor. I'm going to click that. That might be up there depending on how far along in the process you are. You'll just select edit with Elementor. All right, so now we have our header and we have our footer. We don't want that unless you want it. You can, if you're building out a full WordPress website, you can select to have your WordPress header and footer stay there, but we don't want that. So we're going to publish the page, and we're going to go back, and we should, we may not have that option with this theme. So we're going to install a different theme so that we can get, let's see if we have the option here. I think I usually do my pages using the Neve theme, because that gives me the option when I'm building the page to turn the header on or off and the footer on or off when I'm adjusting the settings for my page. But with this stock theme, I don't think that option is there, but the option may be inside the Elementor settings. So this is the setting button right there. Let's go to style. No, advanced is not going to be in advanced. You can even choose your page width from within the Elementor settings as well. Navigation, let's go back there. Let's go there. Preferences, maybe it's there, no. While we're in preferences, let's go back. I'm going to turn something on that I find handy. You don't have to turn it on. Basically, it's a right click option. Let me show you. Let me just show you real quick what I'm going to turn on and off. So we got this text header. We're adding a block. We're adding a text block right there. Now, typically when you hover your mouse over this, another menu option will pop out. They did away with that in the newer version of Elementor. Newer versions of Elementor don't have that pop out option. What they did was instead give you a right click menu. And I'm not too fond of the right click. It works. It has all of the options that the pop out did, but I prefer me hovering over giving me the options so that I don't have to right click and do too much extra stuff. So we're going to go to the settings right here. Preferences, I believe it's in editing handles, and we're going to turn editing handles on. Now we should see the little pop out. You see that? Now we can clone it, duplicate this heading, or we can delete that heading, or we can select that to edit the heading. And it's telling you right here, meet right click. Now you can access all editing actions using right click. We got it. Okay, we don't need that. We turned on the editing handles. So we turned on the editing handles, which is a good convenience feature. You don't have to use that. That's just a personal preference that I like. And all right, so now let's go back. Let's update the page. And we're going to install our theme so that we don't have to deal with the header at the top and the footer at the bottom for our page, unless you want that there. But with the thing that we're going to install, we'll have the option to keep it, or we'll have the option to get rid of it. All right, so let's exit the dashboard. We have everything saved. Make sure you save everything before you exit the dashboard. And then we're going to go back here to the main menu, the WordPress main menu, and we are going to go into appearance. No, not appearance. Is it settings or is it plugins? Appearance. Yeah, appearance. We'll go to themes, and we are going to install Neve. Neve. Where is it? Why isn't it showing up? Okay, let's go to add new, and then we'll search for Neve because we don't have it installed. So let's search for Neve. It should be one of the top ones. All right, so that's it. We're going to install this one here. Activate it. And that should give us the options. Now we're going to go back to page. We should have done that from the beginning and installed the theme. So now we're going to go back to pages, all pages, and we're going to go back to the page that we were editing, demo page Elementor, and we're going to select, let's go to edit. Because if we select edit with Elementor from right here, it's going to take us directly into the Elementor page builder. And that's not where we want to be right now. We want to be into the basic settings for this page. So we're going to go to edit. And we should have an option on the sidebar now. See, now we have this option for page settings. And we can customize the settings, the container, full width, and blah, blah, blah. The components, see the components we can turn on and off right here. We can disable the header, and we can disable the footer. And we can also disable the title. We'll leave the title enabled because we want that on there. And we'll leave all the other settings the same. Now we'll go back to edit with Elementor and continue to build out our page. And it should look a lot different. See, now we have a blank page, a blank slate, and we can do whatever we want with this page. If we decide that we want our heading to be up there, we can uncheck those boxes and we'll have our heading up there with our menu. Now, if we're just building a landing page for one product that we're promoting, then this is our best option right here. Now, we have our option to either add a block. We already added one block. We added a text block right there. So let's get rid of that block. We don't want that block. So we're going to delete that section that housed that block. We don't want that block or element, or widget. We don't want that widget that was within this section. So we're going to delete this whole section, and we're going to start here. we can either add a new section, single section, double section structure, triple. You get the idea right here, pre-configured. But you can always edit it yourself. Like, see, if we put that there, we have this line in the middle. You can slide it over to the left, and you got 25% on the left, 75% on the right. And it gives you the numbers and so on and so forth. You can move that on. And you can even add another one. See this block here? What do they call it? That's a column. We can select that column and duplicate it, and we have another column. So we have now 3 columns in this section. And we can add an element there. Let's put an image there. We can put an image. We select it, and then over to the left will be the options for that image. So we can choose the image now. Let's choose that one because that's what we have installed on our computer. And our image is right there. And if we close this, it gives us like a quick preview of what it will look like on our web page. See, that's what we got right now so far on our web page. And if we click that, and that shows us, you know, the full what we're working with right now in the editing section. Now you can also check here, responsive mode. Shows you what it will look like on a tablet. And this will show you what it will look like on a mobile. Now, the mobile part right here, you'll want to check that on multiple phones. If you have an Android device, check it on your Android device. And if you have an Apple device, check it on your Apple device. Because sometimes with Elementor in the past, I haven't updated all my websites to the latest version of Elementor, but sometimes it looks a little funky on different devices like this. It usually looks just fine on my Android device, but if I have one of my relatives check it on an iPhone, an Apple device, it may look different. I've had my cousin check it on I think an iPhone 9 or whatever. I don't know what number iPhone they're up to, but I had her check it on an iPhone and she said some of the elements looked like they were out of place. It was off the screen. It didn't look right. But when I checked it on my phone, my Android phone, my Pixel 2, it looked fantastic. And I checked it on my wife's phone. She has another Android phone. I don't remember the name of it right now, but it looked great on her phone as well, but it didn't look so well on iPhone, which is why we downloaded that other tool called Yellow Pencil or CSS Editor. The CSS Editor that we downloaded is a tool that we can use to adjust the display to different sizes, and it'll show what our web page will look like on that size display. So as long as you get it to look correct on every size, on every one of those different sizes that it slides across, then it will look good on any mobile device. So that's just a tip. All right, so let's go back to desktop. Because I like to start, I don't know why I have a habit of building my web pages out in the desktop view, because that's where all of the options are. But the focus nowadays should be on mobile. You should be building your websites out mobile first, because that's where most of your traffic is going to come from. It's going to come from a mobile device. Not too many people are browsing the internet anymore using a desktop or a laptop. I say probably 25% of the traffic nowadays is coming from desktop and laptops. Most of the traffic is coming from mobile devices. Yep. So when you build your website out for your desktop, always double check it, triple check it on mobile. Different size screens, just make sure it looks good. Because if it doesn't look good on mobile, you lost out on the visitor that will probably never return. So let's update that right there. We're going to keep that image there. And let's get rid of, you know what? Let's say you don't want to build it from scratch. So we can delete this section. It'll delete everything there. And we'll go to this folder, add template. Elementor comes with a bunch of templates that's already pre-made. So you can just simply select it, put it on your website, and then edit the template to suit your needs. So you don't have to build out an entire web page if you find a template that suits your needs. Now we're using the pro version, we're using the basic free version of Elementor. So our options for templates is a little limited, not too bad, but it's a little limited. It'll tell you pro right here. Those are, oh, that's pretty nice. Those must be new because I don't remember seeing those before. I have the pro version on another website, but there's a lot of pro. Where's the, my favorites, new. Let's see what's under new. See, yeah, those are new. That's nice. Pro. There's no option to separate the Pro from the non-Pro. Maybe it's under popular. Okay, so popular will show you the templates that are probably not. Let's see popular. What other options? All right. You can scroll through the templates and see what you have here that might work with what you want to do. Oh, there's even an under construction template. Let's use that because we're not going to build out an entire web page, and that's pretty cool. Let's insert it and see what we got. It's connecting. Access this template in our entire library by creating a free personal account. Oh, we have to create a free personal account, duh. I already have a professional account, so if I log in, it might automatically upgrade my free version to the pro version. Hopefully it doesn't do that. So let's get started. Let's do it. All right, so now it's going to download the template that we just tried to install. And we have our under construction template right there. And they put everything on this template under one section, which is pretty cool. I mean, that's a good way to build your website. Once you start playing around with it, you can, do it section by section or put everything under one section. Sometimes putting everything under one section gives you a lot more flexibility as far as the background is concerned. And yeah. So let's see, what are we gonna do? Let's close that out and let's build a simple page from scratch right now. You got all the options here. You have a lot of options. You got more options on the Pro. Now, I'm gonna put a link in the description down below. The first 40 people to sign up using that link, I'm going to send them a free copy of Elementor Pro. You just have to sign up using the link down below, enter your information, and I will send you over a free copy of Elementor Pro. All right, so let's build out this page using Elementor Basic. And you know what's so cool about Elementor? That it gives you so much flexibility. You can duplicate a website. You can copy a website. Like if you have a website that you want to replicate your affiliate marketing and you want to send customers to a ClickBank product, you can replicate that ClickBank landing page and just change it up a little bit so that your flow is congruent, so that the page that the customer lands on looks similar to the page that they're going to get transferred to. There's no shock value and the customer gets freaked out and like, oh, whoa, what's this? This doesn't look like the same page. This looks totally different. You can keep the page looking similar. You can just copy that page, make your changes, put your email capture or your lead magnet on that page and send them on over to the ClickBank page, and the customer won't be any the wiser. I mean, they won't get freaked out because the page looks completely different. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's cool with Elementor. Even Brizy, you can do that with Brizy as well. Brizy, I'm gonna show you Brizy next. I like Brizy more so than Elementor as far as building a page, but Elementor gives you a lot more options. Brizy is just, I feel like it's more user friendly, and I think the responsiveness is a little better straight off the bat with Brizy versus Elementor. Elementor, you have to tweak your pages a little bit to make it look good on different size screens. But for the most part, Brizy looks good on, once you set it up for mobile, you get 3 options on Brizy as well. You get desktop, you get tablet, and you get mobile. You can adjust it for each one of those options. You can make one element look different on tablet and one element look different on mobile and different on desktop as well. You can do the same thing here, but I think you get more adjustment options. I don't know what it is, but it just seems like Brizy, when you build out a page, it looks better with less adjustment on mobile devices, if that makes any sense. All right, so let's build a quick page real quick. Let's put an image there. Let's put an image there. There we go. Now we can add another column if we want. We got our big image, so let's select the image and then choose our image. We're going to choose that one, and we're going to insert the media, and we can adjust the size of that image size. We can go to custom, or we can do it here under style. We can do it that way as well, and we can select the maximum width that we'll choose will be 100%, so that doesn't go too big. We got a nice slider to adjust the size of this image. We'll go with this, and we will put another, let's put another column to the right so we can have our image there. We duplicated that column, but all we have to do is delete that image widget. We can delete the image widget because we don't want two images up there. So we're going to go back. See, all we have to do to go back is select the image, tap it with the mouse, click it, and then go to content. Oh no, go to style, because we're going to make this a little bigger. That looks too small. So we're going to make this a little bigger by sliding that over with width. And that looks good. And right here we'll put a form. I don't even know if we can do a form with the basic version of Elementor. We may have to go into Pro to add a form here, so we'll put like an email submit form there. Let's search the widgets. Form is, looks like it has a lock on it. Yeah, see, it's a Pro feature. Now, if you're collecting leads, you're going to need the Pro version, or you can use one of these options, Ninja Forms. That's a happy Elementor add-on. So let's select Ninja Forms. You'll have to, wait, what does it say here? Hello, blah, blah, blah. Looks like Ninja Form is missing on your site. So you'll have to have another add-on installed to use Ninja Forms. So it becomes a kind of a mess if you don't have Elementor Pro, but you can build out basic websites without Elementor Pro. Now, how much is Elementor Pro? Let's go to the website and see what it costs. Elementor, the world's leading WordPress page builder. Those are the features. See, look what we got here. Integrations. We have integration with MailChimp. I think that's GetResponse. Campaign Monitor, I believe that is. You got a lot of email integration options. MailPoet. You have MailPoet is free for I think 1,000 leads or something like that. So I suggest that if you have Elementor Pro, I suggest you should get Elementor Pro because it's really good. It's a good page builder. I mean, it's cheaper than everything you can do in Elementor Pro. Let's put it like this. I'm sure you guys probably heard of ClickFunnels, but everything you can do in ClickFunnels, you can do in Elementor Pro. And Elementor Pro is cheaper than 1 month of ClickFunnels for one website. Now you can go with the, let's just show you the pricing right here. Let me stop talking about it. Let me just show you the pricing. Where's the pricing? Right here, pricing, okay. Personal use, one website, $49 for the year. ClickFunnels, I think the cheapest plan that they have for ClickFunnels is like $97 a month. That's $50 a year for Elementor Pro. Now, if you go with Expert, you can put it on 1,000 websites. $200 for the year. It's a little pricey, but it's still cheap when you break it down over the course of 1 year versus the other options that you have out there, like ClickFunnels, or what's the other one? Oh, I can't think of the other one. But either way, this is the cheapest option you have for building landing pages from scratch with full functionality. This is the cheapest option you have. You want to do one website? $49. You can buy this one to test it out. And if you like Elementor Pro, you can upgrade to this one and they will discount the $49 that you spent here out of this, and you will have the ability to do the 1,000 websites for $199. So as many websites as you want, or you could just buy this one and just build a whole bunch of different pages with this one, but the choice is yours. So highly recommend one of these plans. 3 sites. I wouldn't get the 3-site plan because that just doesn't seem like a good value at all. It just seems like they just threw that in there so that they can direct you to either this or that. It's just like, What's the point of this one? I see what y'all doing over there. That ain't right. Go with this one if you can. It's worth it. All right, so let's go back. So since we can't put a form there because we don't have the Pro version yet on this one, I can show you on another website that I do have the Pro version installed. Matter of fact, let's do that. Let's go to the Pro version so you guys can see. But I want you to see what you can do with just the basic version. You can install a video right there, YouTube video, embed a YouTube video right here. Get you. Oh, why is it doing that? See that? We got a video playing now. That's the default video that it comes with. Of course, they're going to stick their video there, but you don't have to keep that. Just go over to the options on the left and you get your shareable link, your YouTube video link, and then you just paste it right there and you select your source. Now you can also host your own video. You could use Vimeo as the host, as the video provider, Dailymotion, or self-hosted where you would just upload a video. I think 250 megabytes is the limit or something like that. But if you got a lot of traffic coming to your website, you may not want to choose the self-hosted option because I don't know if that's going to bog down your hosting service or not. So YouTube is always a good option. That's the standard for the most part. You can choose the start time for the video wherever you want it to start at, so on and so forth. There's a few options here. You can choose it to be autoplay, mute. You can choose it to loop, show player controls. See that? It hides the player controls now, but I like the player controls to be there. Modest branding, what is that? It looks like it just hides the player controls. I don't know what modest branding is. Privacy mode. When you turn on privacy mode, YouTube won't store information about visitors on your website unless they play the video. So that can be that can come in handy. And you can turn on image overlay, which pretty much puts, you know, that button there on top of the video instead of the standard YouTube button. So when they select it, that shows up. Or you can have like a picture. Let's see what will happen if I chose a picture. Image overlay, insert media. So yeah, that would be on top of image size, custom. You can change the custom size. Oh, they don't give you the slider for that one. Oh, you can even turn lazy load on to help with speeding up your web page. Lazy load is like it only loads up the image once the image is displayed on the screen, so that your website shows up. It's not loading every single image on the web page in one shot, which speeds up the load time for your website. So if you turn lazy load on, if this image is not on the screen, it's not going to show up until the person that's on your website scrolls down to that image, and then it'll load, which will make your page load up a little faster. All right, so now see, we're getting somewhere. Now you see how high that YouTube is up there. I want that to be lower in this column here. So we can change the position of that by going to advanced and then going to margin, and then we can change the margin, which will adjust the position. We can also do the padding to do that as well, which basically adds a layer, adds some blank space to the top of this box here. What do they call this? This widget. It adds some blank space. Let me show you what it does. Now with this connected with that link values, it links values together. So if I turn this up, it turns all the values up. So it's putting padding. You see this space around this box? That's called padding. It's shrinking the video, but it's adding space there. Now if we get rid of that padding and unlink it, we can just add padding to the top or to the bottom. Now we can add padding to the top, and that will slide our video down. It adds some space there. And we can achieve a similar effect using margin, which is the preferred method for me. Now Happy Effects, they have this called Css Transform, which comes in handy, and it lets you move this thing around as much as you want, wherever you want. It gives you sliders. So if you turn CSS Transform on, CSS Transform. If you turn that on, and you'll get this thing right here it's like a pencil that represents edit. You select that, and then you can move it around with a slider. See how it's moving? It's not exactly real time. It's a bit laggy. You can put the video right behind your robot if you want. You can move that over a little bit. You can do it granularly, but it's better to use the slider. And you can move it down, and right there to have the video behind them. And you can change the size. Can you change the size of that video? Yes, you can. Where is that option? Is it under style? No, we don't want filters. Aspect ratio. We're gonna leave that alone. It must be under advanced. There we go. That's how you change the size, by making this smaller and making this bigger inside that column. Let's see what that looks like. Not bad. But that's sloppy, so we don't want to do it that way because it's got this widget way outside of the column. We want to try and keep it in the column, keep things neat, because when you go to tablet mode, it may look a little funky. Actually, it doesn't look funky. They've changed that. They've made some adjustments. This is awesome. Look at that. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Okay. So yeah, you got a lot of adjustability here. I mean, the sky's the limit. You can build this out as much as you want. You can keep it as simple as you want. So let's just get rid of this block here. And let's put a template in. Let's insert this template. All right, so, okay, so I think it's time for us to switch things up a little bit. So what we're going to do to get through this tutorial and to make things a little more interesting, instead of using one of the templates to build out a website using Elementor, we are going to use a website that I've already built, and we are just going to replicate the website that I've already built. This website right here, you can see on the screen right there. I have already built that in the past using Elementor, and this is a review of the Brave browser. It's not really a review of the Brave browser, but it's more like a promotion for the Brave browser. You deserve a better internet. We can play that if you want.
You hate autoplay ads like this, right? Me too. That's why I switched to Brave. No more.
All right, so let's stop that because we don't need to play that. That's really not the point of this part right here. So now let's recreate this website right here. All right, so let's get this off the screen and get our blank canvas on the screen. All right, so this is where we're going to start right here. Now, let's get started. Let's build that website out. We'll go back and forth. We'll switch back and forth as we need to build that website out. You can actually, with Elementor, if you've already built this website, you can pretty much just copy that box. Let me see. Let me show you what we can do. This is an easy way. Once you've already learned how to make websites with Elementor and you've already got some websites built, and you want to use this as like a base, if you want to use this website right here as your starting point, you could simply go, where is it? You simply go to the top here, edit selection, add section. What is it that we need to do? Oh, there we go. And you would save it as a template. You save it as a template under Elementor, and then when you're adding a new block here, you would click this folder. See, it says add new template. And then you would go to this tab here that says my templates. And your template will be saved in this section here. I gotta make sure I blur that out. That's my email address. I don't want you guys emailing me. Well, I don't mind if you guys email me. I just don't want any nefarious emails. I don't want anybody emailing me something. Anyway, let's move on. That's gonna be blocked out. So when you go to that section under the My Templates tab, that's where you'll see the blocks that you've saved. That's considered or the section that would be the section that you save. You save it as a template. So let's close that out and go back here. All right. So we're not starting there. We are going to go there. Now we are going to go to pages, add new page. We'll skip all of this because we already went over how to set this up earlier in the video. Yeah, so we can skip all of that. We set that up earlier in the video. Grammarly, that's a Grammarly add-on for your browser. Helps with grammar, English, spelling, punctuation. Download that. It's pretty good. All right, so let's get going. Now, here we go. Edit with Elementor. It's going to open up the Elementor Editor, and we should be good to go. Now, the first thing we need to do is take off our header and footer. We have our header there. We don't have a footer. Love using Elementor to learn how you can build better sites with Elementor Pro. Not yet. We'll get Pro another time, but not right now. Thank you for the reminder. Yeah, we need to get rid of our header here, and we need to get rid of our footer. So let's go back. We'll publish this real quick. Let's go ahead and publish that. And then we'll go back to the dashboard, exit to dashboard. And get rid of the header and the footer. Disable header, disable footer. Now we can go back to edit with Elementor, and we should be good to go. All right, so we have no header, we have no footer. Now let's take a quick look at our website on the other side. So we have, let's see. I'm taking a look at this website, the one we're going to copy. This is the one we're going to copy. And what we have here is two sections, two intersections. We have an intersection here with two boxes. And we have another, well, two columns. We have one intersection here with two columns, one intersection there with two columns. And we have, this isn't an intersection. This is what they call a widget. This is a widget. So we have our video widget right here. And we have a button widget down here. Oh, actually, we have more than that. Look at this. We got some columns here on the side. I'm thinking I put these columns here to keep things centered. Yeah, that's probably what I did. So let's see how we're going to do that. All right, let's go back to the other one. All right, now, so let's start with adding a section. Do we want a 3 or we need a 4? I think we need a 4 piece. Or do we need? Let's start with 1. You can always add more later. And we will do, let's put the 4-piece intersection in. We'll go to this and select this block here, which is the intersection. It says intersection. We want to drop that in that section. Now we have a section within a section. But, we need to stylize this section here. We'll do that later. You'll understand why we're going to do that. We can do this now, but it'll be easier to do it later, and it'll be more clear once we get into building this section out here. Why we're doing that later. So we'll add another intersection. Let's just let's see if we can duplicate that. See what happens. Perfect. Just what we need. We got our 4 sections here, just like we have on the other side. We have our 4 sections over there. See? Add the 4 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 sections. 1, 2, 3. Well, 2 intersections is what we have. 1 intersection here, 1 intersection there. Okay. Now let's go back. And what do we have on that one? We have 2 empties and 2 with text. So we will put a header here. Pretty sure it's a header. Then we'll go back to the widgets menu. This is the widgets menu right here. And we'll put another header right here because they're opposing on this website, on the other one. Let's go back. I'll show you real quick. Have it opposing here on text section. Click it. Edit heading. Titles. It's the same section. We have another one down here. Same thing. A Brave browser, and then we have you deserve better internet. You deserve a better internet over here on that side. So let's go back and edit over here. So, you deserve a better internet. That looks good. We change our font to white. Well, we don't want to change it to white. We don't want to change it to white just yet because we won't be able to see it against our background. So let's just put a background in right now. Let's do that. All right. We'll go to this, edit this section. and that's going to bring up the menu for that section. This right here, see it says edit section. You'll click that and it'll bring up all of the options for this entire section. And what we want to do is, do we want to go full width or was it box? Let's see. I think we want full width. Let me see. Oh, we want boxed. So we're going to leave that alone. Don't need to touch that section. It is already boxed. Content width. Did we mess with the content width? I don't think we messed with anything there. That section. All right, so we'll go to style. And style will allow us to put a gradient background. That's what we have over here. See this? This is a gradient. We got it fading from blue to like a purplish color on like a 45-degree angle gradient. Let me show you full screen. See, that's what we have. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. All right, see, this is what we have here. We have blue going to like a purplish color on a 45-degree angle gradient color. Real simple, nothing complicated. It looks complicated, but it's not. It's just fancy, just colors. That's all. Gradient. And let's go back here. So let's add our gradients. All right, so this right here is the second color, background color, and this is the first color. It says color, second color. So this will be the top portion of our gradient. Here we have the blue there, and now it's set to a 180-degree gradient. Now let's go to the second color. We can tweak the second color a little bit by playing with the color slider. Get it to a nice purplish color. It's a nice color right there. I think I like that. What about the first color? Do I like that first color? Let's go more purplish. Oh, I don't like that. That looks good right there. More blue. We can put whatever color, you can choose whatever color you want. Choice is yours, sky's the limit. You know, play around with it, do what works for you. But this is where you can find the selections to make your color changes, make your color adjustments. You can find it right there. Now, it doesn't look quite like this yet because we don't have anything in our boxes. So it's not going to look as magnificent as that website looks right now, that landing page for that that advertisement. Brave browser. Get the Brave browser, it's awesome. Links in the description for that. So let's build this out. Let's go back. Now let's build this out here. We'll change that color of our text. I'm gonna go to style, text color. See that? A lot of this stuff is really intuitive. It just tells you right there, text color. So change our color of our text right there, and we have white pre-selected. Now what color font what kind of font do we have? It looks like an Arial font, so we can leave the font alone. We don't really have to get too detailed and too fancy into it. Now let's go to this section right here, and we can change up the color of the text. We'll change that to white as well because that's white. But we need to go bigger. We need that to be bigger, and it needs to stand out, and it needs to be italic on that one, that section. I think both of them are italic. So let's go to this one, and we'll change the typography. That's how you change the styling of the font. You would change the typography, and that's right here, typography. So we'll click the little pencil that indicates that we need to edit it, and we will edit it. And we'll go with transform, or we'll go with style. We can go with decoration. Look, let's see what it does. Underline, we don't want to underline. Overline, line through. So you got a few options that you can go with, and we have none. Let's keep it at none. We don't want any of those decorations right now. We don't need that. But we will transform. No, uppercase. Uppercase will be uppercase everything. Capitalize, capitalize the first letter of each word. And style. So we'll go with italic or oblique. I don't notice the difference between any of them. The fonts that I've used, I can choose italic or oblique, and I don't really notice the difference between the two. They both look like italic or oblique. Whatever words you want to use to describe the way the font is being styled right now, that's what it does. So play around with these settings and, make it work for you in the website that you're building out. Now, that looks good. You deserve better. We can go a little bit bigger. Let's go a little bit bigger with this font here, and we'll go into typography. Now with this little refresh type arrow, looks like a roundabout arrow, circular arrow. That's just going to reset everything back to default. All of the typography settings that you've changed, the styling and the font sizes and everything that you changes that you've made, this will put it back to default. So if you make a mistake and you don't know exactly what you did, and you want to go back to default, just click that button right there to turn it off. And when you turn it back on, it goes back to the last setting that you had. So it's pretty smart that way. It'll remember the last settings that you use and it'll save it and turn it off, turn it on, and it goes back. Now let's change the size. See, we have a slider here that says size, and notice we have this little window thingy that represents desktop. Now if we switch that to responsive mode at the bottom, if we switch that to tablet mode, that little icon will change to tablet, which indicates we're changing the styling for that text in the tablet mode as indicated as well on the screen by the picture of a tablet. But we don't want to do that, and we can actually select there. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's new. That wasn't always there in Elementor, I don't believe. But so we're going back to desktop mode, and we are going to make this font a little bigger because it looks small right now. You can make it smaller or bigger. By default, it's set to default size. When there's nothing there, text number, you can type it in manually or you can use the slider. The slider is very convenient. And yeah, let's see. I like that size right there. That looks good. And we will move the position. Is that under typography? Text shadow. We don't want any shadow on our text. At least not for this situation. You can put shadow there if you want. You know, that's what it looks like with the shadow. Blur. You can change the rotation of the shadow, direction of the shadow, and so on and so forth. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can make a nice little effect. Shadow. Make it look like it's floating. Put it down. That. And the color. As you see, you got quite a bit of options here, and make the distance, you know, by playing with the horizontal and the vertical. Let's bring it close. I don't like it. Let's get rid of the shadow. We don't need it. But what I want to do is move this over to the right side. So we'll go to the content, and then you can find your alignment adjustments. And we're going to move it to the right as indicated by the little pop-up menu, which is a really handy feature. It tells you exactly what each little feature does or each menu item does. So we'll move that to the right, and it's indicated pretty much by the icon there with the text lined up to the right side. Now, that's perfect. So we can take this divider in the middle and slide it left, slide it right, move it over, and so on and so forth. Now, yeah, okay. So now what we need to put here is Brave browser. That's what we're going to put there. Let's type that up. Was that all caps? Yeah, that's all capital. Is it? I don't know if that's capital. It doesn't matter. This is just an example site, and we're just loosely copying the other one. Just show you quickly how you can build out a website easily using Elementor. Now we're going to slide this over some because this is the center point of our website right here, because we want that to be in the center somewhat. So we're going to slide this over and make this. Let's size this up first. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. And we'll change the typography, and we'll bring it up to a big size like that. And we will style it italic, and transform weight. Weight is the thickness. So we'll go with bold. I like that. That looks good. Now we can change the line height, which if you had more than one line, it would control, let me show you an example. It's the best way to do it. More lines. And if we change the typography and we will mess around with the line height, you can see we can change the height of the line. Put it close, far away, and that's the effect that that has. I advise you to just play around with everything so that, let's just delete that so that we'll go to default. Just play around with the settings and you see we got a letter spacing here. Let's bring them a little closer so that we can make it bigger. We can make Brave browser bigger, font size, without extending it too far past the box here, this column, and causing our website to do some funky stuff. We don't want it to do that, so let's mess around with the typography, change the size of Brave browser so that it stands out, and we can decrease the letter spacing some, get it a little closer together, and go a little bit bigger with our font size. We can even slide this over. Is that spaced out? Yeah, that looks fairly even. See how the website looks. Wow, that looks good on the other side. It must be a different font. Let's try a different font. Let me show you how it looks on the other side. That's how it looks. That looks pretty good, right? I like that text. Nice, bold, and tall. It's tall as well. So, I don't know how we can stretch that out. There's got to be a different font. Let's see which font we can find that looks like that. Or is that caps? Let's see. No, that's not cap. That's lowercase. Just uppercase first letter. Spacing is pretty close. Yeah, that's definitely a different font. Definitely, most definitely a different font. So let's find the font that we used here. Wow. We have a lot of options for the font. Alan. Oh, that's a blend mode. Where am I? Where was I at? Oh, typography. I think it was Anton. Oh no, I know what font that is. That's Oswald. It has to be Oswald. I think that is it. Look, let's take a look, see if that matches. No, not quite. Yeah, that's Oswald. Yeah, I think that is. Let's just make it bigger. If it's not, it's close enough. I mean, you can nitpick the details all you want when you're doing it. Let's see if it's 900. I guess bold is the maximum that we can go for the weight of the font weight. 900. Bold is the biggest. Let's see what 700. Let's see what 600. Sometimes the weight, when you make changes to the weight, doesn't really change every single selection. Like once you get to 700, then you go to 800, it doesn't make a change. I don't see a change. Then we go to bold, no change whatsoever. So just play around with the settings and see what you come up with. I don't want to extend out too far. That looks good. I'm okay with that. I'm not here for, we're not doing perfection right now. I'm just showing you how to build out a website real quick. Let's see what we got now. All right, so we need to bring this up because if you look at our other website, this here is lined up with the top of the B. So we need to bring one of those down or up. We'll bring the Brave up. We'll bring this section here up to the internet. We'll do that on the other side. So let's do that. Now let's bring this up. There's one way we can do it by selecting this box. Edit heading. So we want to edit the heading. We want to make sure that this is selected. Because if we're over here, it'll edit this section or that section, depending on what we have selected. We want to make sure that we have the right thing selected. We don't want to be selected here because then we'll be editing this entire section. And we don't want to edit this section. We want to edit this widget, which is the heading widget. So make sure you have the right thing selected before you start making your edits. Now to move this up, we can use margin. Yeah, we're going to unlink the values. Because link values together. With it grayed out, you can see the chain is together, which indicates, with it grayed out, you can see the chain is together, which indicates that the values are linked together. Now you hit it, it unlinks the chain, and you know the values can be changed separately from each other. Now what we want to do is it the top one? Let's just play around with the top one. Yeah, we're gonna bring the top one down to the negative, which in turn moves that up. And we can manipulate that further by doing that, which gives us some gap on this side. You want to make sure that the gap on both sides. If you're trying to center this, just pay attention to the gaps on the edge of the sections. So we're gonna bring that over. That looks good. And boom, we have the same effect that we have here. See that? Very much the same effect, or very similar. And that font is different. This is not the same font. Now I can go into this website. I can go into this website over here and look at the font in G, but I mean, oh, this is where this font is not the same as what we have on our website. But no matter, it doesn't matter too much. Okay. So we got a different font here. No big deal. Let's keep going. Now, that looks good. I like that. I'm happy with that. Let's bring this one down a little bit. So we selected this section by clicking on it, and we can go back to this section again by clicking on it. So we'll click this section. Now that I mentioned selecting, now that I have mentioned selecting sections and how to get to the section, I'm going to show you this other tool that's available. Now, what we're going to do first, before we get to any of that, let's just save our adjustments, because if we don't save it and our computer crashes, we've lost all of the settings. We've lost all of the changes that we made. So if our computer crashes right now, power goes out or something like that, all the hard work that you just done be down the drain. So what we want to do is hit the update button, which saves all of the adjustments, all of the settings, all the changes that we've made. Save now. So the next thing that we're going to do is oh, I wanted to show you this tool here. This is the Navigator. You hit the Navigator, pops out a little Navigator on the side. Now each one of these little buttons that says column, intersection, column, heading, column, intersection, it represents one of these sections that we've opened up on our website that we're building, on the web page that we're building. So if we select this upper column right here, see, look, we close it up and open it up, boom, we have everything displayed on our website. Select that upper column and it's highlighting this. This section is selected, which means we can edit on that section. Edit this entire section by selecting here. And if we select this intersection, it'll allow us to edit that intersection. You see the intersection is highlighted now, right there. Now we select the column, that column is highlighted. See that part right there is highlighted? We select the heading, we can edit the heading. So once we start moving these widgets around and these columns around and the sections, we start moving it around to places where we want them to be, it can be pretty tricky sometimes to select it with your mouse. So that's where this Navigator will most certainly come in handy, because you can click on it, it'll highlight the section, and then you can judge based on where it's highlighted at if that's the section you need to be editing. Because once you start moving these things around, sometimes you get confused and you won't know which part of the you don't know which part of the section that you're editing. And the only way to know would be to make some changes, and you know, it's easier to just use the Navigator. See that? It highlighted the intersection. Now we got this column highlighted and then other column highlighted, which is the column that our Brave browser font is on, text is on. Then we got the heading, which is highlighting the heading widget, so we can go ahead and edit that heading widget. But we don't need the Navigator right now because things aren't that confusing and it's in the way right now. I'm using, I have an ultra wide and I can go a lot wider than this, but when I record, as you saw earlier in earlier parts of the video, when I record, it records, the ultra wide is just not good for screen recording because it doesn't, I don't have a setting for that in OBS to record that wide of a screen. And when I upload the video to the internet, to YouTube or wherever I'm uploading it, that's not really a standard size, so it's not going to display properly. So anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm just rambling right now. Nothing is. So let's get back to the video. Let's get back to the tutorial. Now we have that figured out. Brave browser, we have that text over there. We have this text over here. Everything looks good, looks nice and centered. Now let's go back to, where do we need to be? Oh, we need to add a section at the bottom for our video. So we need to, this is what we'll do. We'll grab the video widget. This is the widget button, see right here? Oh, there's nothing's popping up telling us that it's a widget. I don't know why that's not doing that. What's popping up here? Nothing. Just click it. No tooltips for these two buttons. So you just have to click them and see what they do. That one takes you to the global style. It takes you to the settings menu for Elementor. Like some quick settings menu for Elementor. You got some happy add-ons widgets. What is this? Oh, it just takes you to the settings menu for happy add-ons. We'll close that up. We don't need that. You didn't even see that. Anyway, let's go here because that is our widgets menu. And we will select the video widget because that's what we want. And we'll drag it and drop it. You see the blue line? If you drop it there, that's where your video widget will go. If I drop it here, my video widget will go there within that section. We're doing everything on this web page within that one section. So, which is pretty much what we did on this web page here. Everything is in that one section on this web page. One section. Let me show you. See, one section. Got it? All right. But when you show the page as if it's on the website, you don't see that bottom section. It looks good. That's all we need to see. Now let's go back. That's where we are. All right, so we have our video widget there. We can leave that video there. That's fine. That looks good. Let's see what it looks like. Take a sample. Okay, we're making some progress. Now let's change our background to the section. We're going to select this edit section thing right there so we can adjust this background. And we're going to go to style. Or was it there? What? No, I'm not in the right section. Edit section. There we go. Now we are at the edit section. So we can edit, we can style that. The location, that's like, okay, let's just move it. Well, you can see. Pay attention to the background. It's moving up, it's moving down. The location is how much of this first color you want to be up top and how much of the blue of the second color to be at the bottom. So if you move this all the way over, you'll have a little bit of the blue at the top, or it centers it, I guess, when you have 0. And if you have the location moved on the second color, it moves the color up there, and just play around with it to get to adjustments you want. What did I have that at before? I had it at 100. What if we both? Yeah, that doesn't work out so well. So we got 0 there, we got 100 there. Just play around with the sliders till you achieve the effect that you're looking for. So that's that. All right. Now, all right. So where are we? Oh, this. Now we're going to change the angle. We have it at 180-degree angles, which means that the gradient is going at a 180-degree angle straight across. But we want to change that to 45 degrees. So we're going to change that to 45. And now, I don't like that one. So let's move it to -45. Is that what we need? -45 or 90? I don't think it's 90. 90 puts it this way. So that would be 120, 30, 150, or 145. Let's see what 145 is. 10 degree. Either way, this looks good. That's at an angle, I think. Yeah, I like that. 150. 150 looks good. We have our pink down there in the corner. Let's adjust this color. I don't like that color too much. Let's go a little bit more bluish. That's fine right there. Let's not get too fixated on the color. You can do that on your own time, get fixated on the color. Now, that looks good. We go to type, linear or radial. Let's see what the radial looks like. Yeah. So we have all of the blue in the middle and we have the pink on the outside. Let's see what kind of adjustments that will. That looks pretty cool. Looks cool. But that's not what we're going to do. I don't like that. We're going to keep it at linear. And we have a 150-degree angle. We could even do a background overlay. We don't want to do that though. I'm not doing that for this video. We can change the border of this section. But being that that's one big section and that's going to be our entire web page right there, we don't want to change the border. But we do want to adjust the shape divider. Now, if you look at this section, at this website here, at the very bottom, let's go. At the very bottom here, these mountain looking things, that's a shape divider. So that's what we're going to add in now. We're going to do our shape divider. That's a button. We'll do that later. That's no big deal. So let's put our shape divider in now. Shape divider, we're going to pull that drop down menu down. And we want to put one at the bottom. We can do one at the top as well, but we don't need to. We have different options. So you have drops. And you can even change the color of the shape divider. We have clouds, which I don't really like. It does look cloudish, but you would have to adjust this background. You can make that work. That's doable. But I think we use mountains. Yeah, see, that's the same shape divider that we have at the bottom. But we don't want it at the top. Let's just keep it at the bottom. So we'll have none for that one at the top. And we'll select bottom, and then we will use mountains. And we have our mountains at the bottom of our shape divider. Now, we can't really see it because it's behind the video widget, but we're going to put a button there. However, in the meantime, if we want to see what it's going to look like, we can select that section as we already are. We can go to the Advanced tab, and we can add some padding to the bottom of this section. This section here of this section, the section of this section, we can add some padding, which will bring this part down, and we'll be able to see what our shape divider is actually going to look like. So let's do that just as a temporary measure. And we want the top, right, bottom, left. Since we want to add it to the bottom, we're going to add the padding to the bottom. So we're going to increase the padding at the bottom. You see it's moving it downward and adding some padding, which is basically just blank space. So now that's what it will look like. And we can close this up to get a quick sample. And yeah, that's what we got so far. You deserve a better internet, Brave browser. We're getting close to what it looks like on our original website that we're copying. Roll up. See, we're getting close to that. Looking pretty close. All right. Now, on the original website that we're copying, we have a shadow behind our video. We can do that, no big deal. And we also have, what else do we? Oh, we have rounded edges and a shadow behind our video. And our video is a little smaller, is it? Yeah, our video isn't quite as wide. So we'll shorten the size of that video. That's why, okay, look, let me show you. Now I understand why I put those extra blocks on the side. Let's open this back up. See, you have extra column here and an extra column there. I don't even remember how I did that. Oh, I know how I did it. I know exactly how I did that. All right, so we got to move some things around now. I remember how I did that. I see it now. What I have here is one intersection here, another intersection here. But when I originally made it, this is 3 columns. It's 3 columns. 1 column here, 2 column, 3 column. All of this is just in the middle column. The intersection, that intersection, the video, the button, it's all in that middle column of this 3 column section. So I originally started with a 3 column section. I got a spacer there too. That looks like just a plain Jane spacer. All right, no big deal. So let's put those columns there so we can resize this video. I could also put padding on the side to resize the video. So you have a few options to go about resizing the video in the middle. Let's do it with the padding. No, I'm gonna show you what I did so you'll have a good understanding of how this works. I'm gonna go through as many features on Elementor as we can in this tutorial without doing stuff that's not really relevant. You'll have to play around. I can't show you everything because it would just take too long. The tutorial would be way too long if I showed you every single feature in Elementor. Now I'll never get to Brizy, which is the one that I prefer to use, even though Elementor has a lot more options, especially with the Pro version. Pro version of Brizy versus the Pro version of Elementor. Elementor has way more options. So if you could only afford to buy one page builder in the Pro version, go with Elementor. Elementor gives you the options to do whatever you need, whatever you want. But Brizy is easier to use, and it doesn't have as many options, but it's easier to use. And I just prefer using it on a day-to-day basis because it's easier to use. And I can achieve almost the same amount of customization as I can with Elementor, not quite as much. I can't get the animations just yet. They are constantly working on Brizy, but let me not turn this into a commercial about Brizy. So let's get back to this page. Where do we need to be? We need to be here. And we are going to resize. We're going to stylize our video. We'll open that menu bar back up. And let's go to the video tab. We're going to select right here, edit video, or we could have selected the middle. But I feel like if we select the middle of the video, if we select the video in the middle, we might start playing the video, and I don't want to play the video and mess up the audio for this recording right now. And I think I'm doing pretty good with this recording. I hope it's doing pretty good. I don't have to redo this video. All right, so let's see. We don't want the player controls shown. I mean, we do want them shown. We're gonna leave that alone. Oop, nope. We're not going to change any of those video settings. So we're going to go to the Style tab. Let's go to the Style tab. No, that's not where we need to be. I think it's under Advanced. Advanced. Border. That's where we want to be. That's where we're going to get some widgets. You don't have a lot of options under Style. But if you go to the Advanced tab, you can get some of the options back using the, what's available there. It's not a whole lot of styling options in the Advanced tab, but you can adjust the border most widgets in the styling tab as well. I mean, not the styling tab. Under the Advanced tab, under the border section, you can adjust the border, which will give you the radius that we're looking for. So let's do that. Let me show you what I'm talking about instead of just talking. So we want to adjust the radius. That's this, the border radius. So that's this little edge here. It's sharp right now. We want to change that to rounded. So we'll put about 15 degrees, and you can see right now it's rounding it out. See? Now we got a rounded edge. Let's round it out a little bit more. We'll go with 17 or 18. No, let's go with 15, because when we shrink the video, it'll look better. Instead of just going with 18, it'll be too round once we shrink this video down to a different size. And how did I say I was going to do that? Oh, padding. We're going to put some padding around the edge of this video to shrink it down. So we're going to go here and we'll increase the padding. Keep it linked because we want the padding to increase all around this video, which will shrink the video down some. See that? Oh, I know why I did that now. You see, when I shrink the padding, we lose our rounded edges on the video. That's why I put the two extra columns, one column here, one column there, so that I can control the width of the video and still keep the rounded edges, because we don't have a lot of, see, it's playing. We don't have a lot of styling options under the style section of this video, unless we're going to write the CSS code, CSS filters. That's for like, let me show you what the filters do while I'm here. I'm blur the video out. I don't know why we want to do that, but you can do that. You can change the brightness, the contrast, saturation, the hue. It's a filter. We don't want any filters on it because it looks just fine as it is. But if you want to stylize the video, you have the option to do that. So we're going to go back to the Advanced tab. We're going to take our padding out. Once we take our padding out, we're going to just put it back to 0. See, we have our rounded borders again, because it is actually stylizing the entire box. This box here is being stylized, which gives it the rounded border. So if we shrink it inward, if we shrink it in, we lose the rounded border. So when we bring it back out all the way to the edge of that box, it rounds our border back out. So what we have to do to achieve the rounded edges that we want is put some columns on the side. So what we'll do here, I'm going to click on this column, because this is a single column section. See this section here? It has one column in it because it's all the way at the edge. That's how we know we have that one column. You can also use, let's update it because we don't want to lose our progress. You can also click the navigator and you can click this section. See the hierarchy right here? The section is at the top. We only have one section. So if we had another section at the bottom, see this is all the way over to the left. We had another section at the bottom, we'd have another thing there that says section. Better to just show you than to talk about it, right? So let's add another section here. Now look at our thing, our navigator. So we have another section that's all the way to the left, which indicates that that is the top level section. And if we put something in that section, then we'll have more. We have a column there. We have one column in that section by default. See that? That's indicated by that grayish thing that says edit column. The gray handle, they call these a handle. The gray handle right here indicates that that is the column. We're dealing with the column. And this would be a section anyway. So let's go ahead and delete this. We don't want this section here. We're going to delete the section. Don't need it. We're going to go back up to the top of our column. Click that. Oops. This will bring everything open. Select that little arrow thing. It opens everything up. So we have our column. One column. See that? It's the only thing in that line. If they put like lines going down, it'd be a little easier. It's not complicated to figure out right now. Anyway, we're going to click that column so that indicates that we have one column in that section. Now we have intersections that have two columns. Here we have a column here, and we have where is it? Well, anyway, it won't let me get to that column because I don't know why it won't let me. But there is two columns there. Sometimes it's hard to get to the second column. That's why the navigator comes in handy. We have an intersection. We have a column there and another column. So you have one column there. You can click it and then it'll highlight that column. Sometimes you can't get to the column by clicking it, the mouse, because you've moved the text around and it kind of blocks it and overlaps it. That's why the navigator comes in handy. And then you select that, that's the other column. And then you select that one, that is the main column. So what we're going to want to do is just highlight that. We turned on the handles, the editing handles earlier in the video. So we have our editing handles and we can just click that duplicate column and it'll make another column. See, we have two columns now, but we want three columns. We're going to do it again, duplicate it. And now we have three columns. We don't need to have all of this stuff in the column. So we can delete that intersection. We'll keep this column in the middle and delete that one. Delete. Oh, we're not going to delete the column. We're going to delete the stuff inside the column. Then we'll make our adjustments. So we're going to delete that intersection. Delete that intersection. We're going to delete that video widget. See, now we have a blank column there, and I'll show you what I'm doing in a second. So don't freak out just yet. It looks like a mess, but we're going to clean it up. We're going to delete that section. We're going to delete that section. We're going to delete that video. And now we can adjust our column widths and bring everything back to looking normal. Let's get rid of the navigator because we don't need the navigator right now. And we're going to slide that over. And as you can see, we are getting back to some normalcy. So we got 4.3% on that right side over there. We're going to try and keep everything uniform. We have 5, 4.3, 4.2, 4.3. Now we can adjust these over to get the desired size of the video that we want. And don't worry about that text. We can always make adjustments to that text later. Yeah, we can do that later and get it back to some resemblance of what we had or what we want. I think that's a good size for the video. All right, so now we'll go back up to this and we'll adjust the typography a little bit to make it not what do you call it? Wrap. We don't want the text there to wrap around. So we're going to adjust the size of the text a little bit so that it's not wrapped. You go too big, see it wraps around to the next line. We don't want that. So we're going to leave some room. You can do that granularly by using that 1 pixel at a time. And that looks good, I think. You can slide that over some. Slide this over a little bit, put that closer. And that looks good, right? Let's see what it looks like on a tablet. Not too bad on the tablet. I don't mind if it wraps a little bit on the tablet. We can actually hide this column on the tablet. Click on a column, then we'll go to the Advanced tab, and we'll click on Responsiveness, and then we can hide it on different devices. So we can hide that column on a desktop. So on the tablet mode, we may want to delete. Oh, I was talking about this column here and how you cannot make it show up. See, we can hide that column on a tablet. We can do the same for this column to hide it on the tablet. And you have to go to the Advanced tab, Responsive, and hide on tablet. And you can see it kind of put those little stripy lines on it, which indicates that it's hidden. And you can see what it will look like by doing that. Why is it doing that? No, we can't adjust this in the tablet mode, tablet edit mode. We have to go back there to make the adjustment. All right, so let me take a preview of that, preview my changes, see what it looks like. Oh, I can't preview it in tablet mode. Oh, maybe you guys can see that. Can you see it? Where's the, yeah, you can see the preview because it's recording that browser window. But I'm gonna have to pop it out and then move it around. So give me a second, look it out. And let me shrink it down. Yeah, it is doing that funky stuff. Moving to the left. I'm not sure why it does that. That's the preview right now. But we're gonna go back to that. Oh, I have an idea to make my job easy. Yeah, I like that. Easy peasy. Put them all in the same window. All right, that's where we need to be. That's our preview. And that is our model page. Let's close that up. This is the page we're modeling after. Let's see how this one responds. This one doesn't do any response. Anyway, that's the model page. This is the preview of the page we're working on. Not exactly the same colors, but you get the idea. And we can adjust the divider at the bottom to make it go a little bit more shallow and look more like that. We could change the opacity of our styling. All right, so let's not worry too much about that. This, how are we going to center that? That's hidden. That's hidden. Let's not hide it and see what kind of effect we get. You will have to play around with it because it's not perfect. Like I said, you will have to work around some of the shortcomings of Elementor and Brizy. Both page builders have shortcomings. Pretty much every page builder I've used, there is some shortcomings. So you will have to learn to work around them and get used to the page builder so that you'll be able to build pages out more efficiently. It's gonna take a little while, you know, a few days of playing around with it and getting used to it, maybe a few weeks, depending on how much time you have to spend on it. So let's see what we can do here. Update it, take a quick look. That looks better. So if we just leave the columns there instead of trying to hide them on tablet mode, it looks, you know, it looks a little bit more respectable. We can always adjust the width of these. Can we? Yeah, we can adjust the width, right? Go to advanced. That sucks. I thought that you could. Oh well. However, we can move that with our free plugin Yellow Pencil. So we can move this around as we need when we go. After we finish building out our web page, we're going to test it in Yellow Pencil to make sure that everything looks good on every different size screen. and we can make adjustments to the web page, to the elements on the web page, move them around to adjust it and make it look good on different size screens with yellow pencil. So you don't want to build a web page under yellow pencil because it requires a lot of skill to do that. You're going to have to be writing code in CSS using yellow pencil, but the tools there to adjust the positions of the elements on the screen under yellow pencil, it's pretty easy to do. You don't need to be a genius or writing any code to make those type of adjustments. Cosmetic adjustments with yellow pencil. There's a graphical user interface that makes it easier. And you know, it's kind of self-explanatory to use as well. But we'll go through that a little bit as well once we finish building out this page. Now, I'm gonna update it, and I'm gonna take a break. My head's starting to hurt. I'm gonna come back to this video. You won't see my break. Obviously, I'm not gonna keep you holding on while I take a break. I'm gonna take a break and have me something to drink, because you can tell my voice is getting a little hoarse. So, we'll be back. We are back. Where were we? Tablet mode. So let's go back into tablet mode. And right here, we need to make some adjustments here. First, let's go into desktop mode and see if we can even these out. Then we'll make our adjustments with the padding. So 5.8 there. Have here 5.8. So that's even. That's even. Even in the middle now. Now we can go. Let's update it. We made some changes. Didn't make that many, but we made enough changes where we should think about updating. So now let's go into the tablet mode, and I figured out a way that we can make some adjustments there on the side. If we wanted to bring the video more into the center, we would do that with the padding. But as far as making this video bigger and getting rid of these on the side, I don't know what we can do about that. I'd have to play around with that. Maybe we can make those adjustments in yellow pencil later. But sometimes you have to make some compromises. And right now it looks pretty good. I mean, I would like the video to be a little wider, but that's fine. That's no big deal. And we could adjust this, bring this down. You deserve a better internet, Brave browser, so that looks a little bit more cohesive. And we can do that by tapping that section or that widget right there. Click on that widget. And then we'll go to the advanced tab, and we can adjust the margin, or we can bring this one up. Let's bring this section up, Brave browser section. We'll go to advanced tab. We've already clicked that section. We've got that section selected. So now we'll go to the advanced tab. We will unlink the margins. Now notice it says tablet mode. That means that we're making all of our adjustments for the tablet size screens. So the adjustments we make now under the tablet mode selection will not transfer over to mobile, and it will not transfer over to the computer. What is that? What do they call it? Desktop. So this is strictly adjustments for the tablet mode. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring the margin up. So we want to move this up or down. So we either adjust the top or the bottom. So usually the top gives you what you need. I don't know why the bottom doesn't usually work. Let's see what the bottom does. Okay, so the bottom brings the bottom up. Doesn't necessarily move it up or down, but the top one will move it up and down on the screen. So let's do that. Bring that up some. That's a better look. I like the way that looks. Now let's go to the preview. See how that looks. That looks pretty good. Now let's go to a real preview. This is like a real preview. So show us what. And well, we can't really get a good visual of it in the tablet mode because we're not using the tablet. But I mean, we can't get like a full-blown visual of what it's going to look like because we're using a tablet. Actually, we could update the site. We can update it and then just go to the URL for the website using a tablet, and then you'll be able to see what it's going to look like on the tablet. Or another option that you can do without going into yellow pencil would be to just open the browser and then shrink it in and out. That's like simulating different screen sizes. So you would essentially be moving the edge of the browser over and over and over, and then just making sure that it looks good, like dragging and dropping type thing. well, not dragging and dropping, but resizing the browser. So you just essentially, instead of maximizing the browser, you would just grab one edge and then just resize it left to right and see what the website looks like, because that's kind of simulating what it's going to look like on different size screens, essentially. All right, so we look good there. I like that. That's not bad at all. We're not going to go for perfection because this is a tutorial and you can make your fine tuning yourself. That's fine. All right, so now that that looks good, let's do, what else do we want to do? Got our video. We have any shadow? Let's put some shadow behind our video. We're going to do that. And oh, let's see how it looks on mobile. You deserve a better internet, Brave browser. So we're going to select this and bring Brave and browser, the line height. We're going to bring them a little closer to each other and maybe even raise this up some. That looks pretty good already. Oh no, see, it looks funky. That's why it's a good idea to double check it. See, it looks okay there, but when you go into like preview mode, it looks a little funky. So we will have to make some adjustments. Like I said before, with Elementor, the adjustments for the mobile screens, you're gonna have to do a little bit more adjusting than you would have to do if you built your web page in Brizy. But you know, like I also mentioned, Elementor gives you a lot more features than Brizy does at the moment. Brizy's constantly updating, but let's get back to the web page. So I'm gonna bring these two together, Brave and browser, just a line height, and then we'll fix that. So the line height, that's going to be under style, typography, line height right there. And we're going to bring those a little closer together. Not that close. That looks okay. Let's see. Yeah, that looks good. Now we're going to see if we can fix the overlapping that we got going on. Advanced, and that should fix it. Let's see if that fixes it. Set the margins to 0. Let's see what we got. There we go. That looks better. We'll bring this up, bring the Brave browser up. So that is kind of like, let's see what we can do. Make that look better. We'll adjust the margin up. Maybe we can better. Why did it do that? Oh, it's linked. That's why it's linked. Okay, let's put that back to 0. And then we will just do it this way. There we go. Now let's see what we got. That looks better. That looks okay. All right. Okay, now hold on. Let's bring the video down just a little bit because it's a little too close together. So we want to tap our video widget. Oops, let's tap that corner there. Stop it from playing. So we're going to tap the video widget as we did. Now we have it selected and we will go to the advanced tab because we want to adjust the margin on that so we can bring it up or down. We will unlink it and then we will do the other direction. Minor adjustments, bring the margin down, and that looks good. Okay. Update it. Peak. Better. Can't complain about that. Now we'll add our button to the bottom. This is what we're going for here. Wait for it. The button should slide in a second. Or did we put our button there? Oh, that's the preview. There we go. That's what it's going to look like. This is just a preview of what we're working on. This is the actual site that it's going to look like when it's finished. We need to work on our button. See, that's some nice growing and shrinking when we hover over the button. That's a feature that Brizy doesn't have right now. Can't hover over it and make the button grow. It's a pretty cool feature. Not necessarily necessary, but it's good to have. Now let's go. We'll add our button. Go to desktop mode. And we'll put, what do we want to put down at the bottom? The button. We're going to drag that button, put it right there. And that's our button. That's a basic button. That's how you start off with, but we have to style it. You can actually click it and start typing right there. So we're going to put, this is a button. Click me. Now that looks good. Okay. Let's go over to the adjustments over here on the left. The type default, you can use one of these, which basically just changes the color. If you're trying to do something real quick, want to just get it done and over with, you can just use one of the presets. Css isn't a bad preset. That's like green buttons. People like clicking green buttons. Green and blue, they get a higher click-through rate. So just keep that in mind when you're designing a website. Green and blue buttons, people like to click those more than any other color for some reason. Psychological thing, I guess, because green means go, and blue is just like, I guess blue because it's like a pleasing color, I suppose. I don't know. Anyway, and you can adjust the text of the button right here in that box as well. You can put your link for the button. We'll just leave that blank because we don't want it to go anywhere right now. We don't need it to, and you can adjust the alignment right here. See, some elements or widgets, whatever you want to call them, you can adjust some of the styling in the actual content tab. Like this would normally, this I think should be more so in the style tab, but sometimes it's in the content tab, sometimes it's in the style tab, sometimes it's in both. But if it's in style, I tend to leave it alone in the content tab. Let's see if it's in style tab. It's not here on this one. But it depends on the widget. Like if you have an add-on, sometimes it'll be in both. It'll be in style and in the content tab. So just check both tabs to see what kind of options you have available. Sometimes it's not exactly consistent. Now, we want that button to be in the center, so we will click the center, and that centers out our button. Now the size of the button, we want it to be extra large. I like the extra large buttons because we want to draw attention to it. The icon, do we need an icon on our button? We can. Let's put one on it just for the sake of the video. And we have a whole huge selection of icons to choose from. You can search and narrow it down. Let's see, what kind of icon do we want here? Let's put button. Oh, bus. Let's see what comes up. See, look at that. We got some bus icons. Go with that one. We even got brand. Font awesome brands. Let's see what kind of brands we got. That's the only brand there right now. Oh, there we go. Had to reset it. Yeah, so we got quite a few brands there that we can choose from. Yeah. See if YouTube is there. Yeah, we can put YouTube emblem on the button. Let's go with that one. I like that one. Let's put that on the button. See, right there at the front. You can change the position. See icon position before or after. Let's put it after. I like my icons at the back. Icon spacing, so that would be the space between the icon and the text. You can adjust that to your liking, which should probably be in the style tab, but you know, it's there. At least it's included. Wrapper link. That's there for every, once you install happy icons, happy add-ons, this wrapper link is there for pretty much every widget that's installed. Because some widgets that are installed, or some widgets that, not that are installed, but some widgets that come with Elementor may not give you the ability to turn that widget into a link. See, I could turn this entire video into a link if I wanted to. I can click that and then I can use this add-on, happy add-on, and then right there, just put my link in. And whenever someone clicks that video or whatever widget you decide to put the link on, you can put your link here, you can put your link there. You can put the link on the button, obviously. That's built into Elementor. But, you know, it adds the ability for you to put links on elements or widgets that normally don't have a link there. So that's a handy feature to have, and we're not going to use that right now. So let's go into the Style tab. We got everything that we can possibly do under the Content tab. Now we'll go ahead and style our button and get fancy. Fixed size. Do we want a fixed size button? I'm not sure how that will react, but we'll leave that out because we don't want it to be fixed. We want it to be kind of dynamic depending on the size of the screen. So we'll leave it alone. I'm guessing that if we leave that alone, the size of the button will be dynamic. You can go ahead and play around with that, but you know, the option is there. We do want to change the typography because I don't want that default font there, even though that looks pretty good. I like that. But we're going to go with Oswald. I like to use Oswald for my buttons because it's kind of a condensed font. And we can go big with the text. See how it condensed that font in some and it's still easy to read? So that means that we can go big on the size of the text, draw a lot of attention to it, and even condense it in some more with the letter spacing. So we can change the letter spacing to condense that even more, and it's still easy to read. And I like that. That looks good. It's still easy to read, and we can go a little bit bigger with the size. Draw a lot of attention to our button so that, you know, stands out, easy to read, no confusion. That's what you want in a button, especially if it's like, you know, it's for your website. You want to draw your attention to where you want your attention to be drawn to, where you want the user's attention to be drawn to, and that's one way to do it. Now the weight, we can adjust the weight as well. Let's see if we 800. I think that's too much. Let's go with 500. Yeah, 500 looks good. I like that. Now with that weight, I want to spread the letters out a little bit more. That looks good. And line height, that's for like multi-lines. If you have more than one line, we already went over that. We don't need to go over that again. Decoration, we can go with underlined, overline, line through. You get the idea. But we don't want any lines. We're going to keep it simple. I like italic, but I don't like it on this button. So we're not going to do italic on that. Or do I? That looks good. We can leave it. Now, we're finished with the typography. Text shadow. Do we want any shadow on our text? Text that's on our button. Blur. Let's blur. See what kind of text we can. Split. How does that look? Away. Let's blur it out a little bit more. That way that looks different. Shadow. Get some color. We will put it a little less. This is the transparency slider right here. This would be like less transparent, more transparent, obviously. I'm gonna do it like that. This is a button, click me. Does that look good with that shadow underneath? Yeah, I think it looks good. We're gonna leave it. That's subjective. That looks good. Let's take the shadow off. I don't like it. That looks good. That looks better. All right, so choice is yours. You know, style it how you want. I like the way Brizy does their shadow, because there's a trick to make the settings. There's a trick to make this text looks like it's kind of 3D without it being cheesy looking. Looks like it's floating above. You'll see next when we get to that. When we get to the Brizy editor. I don't know how to achieve that effect is that same effect using Elementor. Actually, you can't do it on the text with Brizy, but you can do it on the button itself using Brizy. Make it look like it's floating above the page. Let me see if I can show you. This is a website that I did, another website. See, this is the shadow effect that I'm talking about. See how it's got that shadow underneath video element, making it look like it's peeled back away from the page. Same shadow effect here, same shadow effect with that text. You got that same shadow effect here, as well as here. It gives it a nice effect. Oops, what the heck? See? Pretty cool. The shadow effect. Right? Alright, so let's get back to this one. Close that up. Click on it by mistake. I'm not quite sure how to do that same shadow effect on Elementor. So let's go back to our button. That's where we were, right? Now, let's round off the edges of this button. It's kind of sharp. And we could do that. We can do that two ways, actually. I think we could do it under advanced. I know we can do it under advanced, but it might put it, let's just do it under style. If you're offered the option to round the edges off in the style tab, use the style tab instead of the advanced tab, because you may not get the same effect using the advanced tab. The advanced tab is more so to stylize or to adjust the entire widget area, but like this whole box, see the little blue outline? It would be styling that. So I think the shadow would be on that edge as well. But if we do the shadow under the style box, under the style tab, it's only going to put the shadow under the button itself. Now, where's our shadow? That's the button. Yeah. Oh no, that's text shadow. See, it says text shadow. We don't want that one. Box shadow. That's what we want. It puts the shadow under that box. Now let's see what we can do. No, we don't want to shift it that way. We want to shift it down. We can't really shrink the shadow inward. That's what we need to get that spread. There it is. Yes, that's how you get it. See, this is the same effect now that we got with Brizy, but not all of the elements give you the option to adjust the spread. So you can only get that same effect if you can adjust the spread. See, the spread would be how far out the shadow goes. See, it's spreading out, not spreading out. So we want to spread it in a little bit and then bring it down. Ooh, too much. Some fine tunage. That looks good right there. And we're going to make some blur. And maybe we can bring it down some more. Now that gives us a nice button effect. See how that looks? That looks fantastic. I like the way that looks. Okay. I have the microphone directly in front of my face and it's blocking the screen a little bit. That's why I keep shifting to the left and to the right instead of just moving the microphone. I could just move the microphone. Anyway, I'm still working on the setup for that. I want to have really good audio, as good as I can get it, and having the microphone closer to my face gives me better audio. All right, so that looks good. Let's move the button down a little bit. Actually, we can leave that button right where it is. This is a button, click me, and that looks good. Happy with that. That looks good. Let's see if we can put some shadow on our video. Give that a nice effect. Style, nope, nothing there. But we can get that shadow on this tab as well. That will be under border. I don't know why they put the shadow under the border section in advance, but almost all of the widgets has box shadow under the border section in the advanced tab. So whatever widget you pick and it doesn't have shadow available in the style section, check the advanced tab and see what options you have there. And we have full control right here, which is fantastic. But we are going to do vertical, bring it down that way, spread it in, not out, and get some blur on that. Bring it down a little bit further. And let's spread it out some more. Oh, see how that looks. What do we need? I think we need some more spread. I mean, not spread. We need some more blur. That looks good. I like that. Now we'll bring it down a little bit more. Oh, too much. Looks good. Now we'll bring our button down some because it's not hiding our shadow effect for video. So let's move the button down. We'll go to the advanced tab, unlink the margin, and then we will bring the button down some. Just enough so that it doesn't mess up the shadow effect from our video. And then we got some nice effects. Nice looking website right now. It looks fantastic. So the last thing we are going to do is adjust this here, which is the divider. I'm gonna click on the section. That's where you'll find the divider, which is on that section. It's at the bottom. And we'll go to the style tab, and where is it? Shape divider. That's what it's called, shape divider. So we're going to adjust the bottom shape divider, change the color. We're not actually going to change the color, but we're going to change the opacity. Well, actually, we need to go back to white because that's what we need. And then we'll change the opacity or the transparency. Now that's a nice, little more subtle effect. And then we could change the height, make it go up pretty high. See that? Now that looks good. We can change the width as well. Get a nice wavy effect. We'll bring it in. We could even flip it. Give it a nice wavy effect and flip it around. Bring it to the front so that the mountains are on top of the elements. You want to do something like that, but then you don't have to, you don't have to do anything. You can style it however you want. But I don't want it in the front because it's blocking my button element. So I do like it flipped. That looks better. We'll update and make sure we save our changes. So let's open that up, see what it looks like. Looks good. Is this the preview? Yes, this is our live preview. Refresh it. Looks good. Got a fancy looking web page right here. Sky's the limit. We're just getting started. Wasn't too bad, wasn't too difficult. Just a little bit of creativity, a little bit of playing around with it, some tips. You can look online, search on YouTube, Elementor tips. There's a lot of videos out there on tips and tricks to make Elementor work for you, to make better looking web pages. Now, that looks good. I like it. Do we need to add anything else? We don't need to add anything. Keep this simple. And updated it. So now let's go to Yellow Pencil. Let's see what this looks like on tablet. We didn't finalize everything. So let's go to the tablet. That looks good on tablet. Show you. It looks good on the tablet. You can bring that down with the white box there. Let's adjust that out with the margin. So we are going to go to select our box, which is our section. We'll select the uppermost section, and then we will adjust our padding at the bottom. We want to add some padding so that we can stretch that box down and get rid of the white space that we're seeing right here. We want to get rid of that white space. Add a little padding to the bottom. We're going to unlink our values, and then we're going to increase the padding at the bottom. See, bottom. And that'll bring that down as much as we need. We'll go with 100, and then we'll take a peek, see what we got. That didn't quite work, did it? Let's try that again. Let's go to 500. And let's see what it looks like. All right, that worked. But it put too much. Now we got to scroll and we don't see our fancy mountains anymore. So we went too far. Let's just go with 200. See what it looks like. You have to play around with it until you get the effect that you want. We're getting there, so maybe like 250 will do. But you get the idea. So we'll go with let's start at 230. See what happens. We'll go to 250. That looks good. Yep. And you can make your adjustments to your button. So let's do some adjustments with the button. All right, now margin. You can style. We don't want to go style and border. You didn't change the border, so let's go to desktop and round off the edges. We said we were going to round off the edges on the buttons. Let's go ahead and do that. Style tab, border type, none. We don't want any border. Well, you can't put a border. See, look, this is what you'll get. You get that type of effect. Grooved, solid. Sometimes that's a nice effect. If you change it from white, that looks pretty good. Double, got a double thin line going around that border. And the dotted, dotted, that. But we don't want any, I don't want any, can't say we, but I don't want any. Border radius, now that's going around off our edges there. We can go to 0. And we have a completely square button. That's what you want. I don't want that. I want to round it off a little bit. So we're going to go to 12. Nope, a little bit more, a little bit more, and I like that. That looks good. Let's go with 30. 30 looks good. I like that. We got our box shadow set already. Now the padding is this area around the text, the blank space around the text. Now we can go to 0 padding, and we'll have no space around the text. See that? Now that looks ridiculous, right? So we'll unlink that and we can adjust the padding manually. Put a little bit on the top, put a little bit on the bottom. That looks good. So if you have a website where your space is confined, but you do want your text to stand out and you don't want your button to look ridiculous, you can adjust the padding on the button, to your needs to make it look better, make your text stand out that's on the button, and have a nice looking button. Simple as that. So we're going to adjust the padding on the right a bit more, and we're going to adjust the padding on the left. And we'll make the button a little bit more padding on the top and a little bit more on the bottom. Big button, big, bold. There we go. That's a nice looking button. This is a button. Click me. And we got our YouTube logo there. And we can adjust the styling, the color of the text if we want. The button, fixed size, typography, text shadow, text color. You can adjust the text color here. The background color, which is the button background color. You can adjust that. Go with that color green. That. It's a nice blue. But we'll stick with that green. Well, I don't know if that's the same green we had, but that is a green. Now there's another add-on that you can add on to Elementor, which will give you the ability to have a gradient on your button. This button that's built into Elementor that Elementor comes with, I don't even believe the Elementor Pro version gives you the option to have a gradient color on this button. But there's an add-on. I can't think of the name right now. Let's see if I can find the name of that add-on. PiotNet. 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 I think that's it. I'm going to bring it up. Let me show you what the plugin is called. And it gives you the ability to have a gradient on your button. Gradient color, like one color at the top, another color at the bottom, or one color here, and then a different color over there. And it slowly fades into that color, which is why they call it a gradient, because it's like a gradient fade into another color. It gives it a nice effect, real fancy effect. You can make it subtle, or you can even make it pop. Like, see right there, that's a gradient. You see where it's fading from the blue to the pink. From the blue to the pink, that's what a gradient is. You can do that same effect on a button with this add-on. Let's update it, and we will go to the add-ons, and I will show you the add-on that you may want to put on your website to give you the gradient effect on different elements that normally don't have the ability to have a gradient on it. You can put it on quite a few different elements with this add-on. So let's go to the dashboard, and then we'll go to the add-on section of our website. Where is it? Plugins, not add-ons, I'm sorry. Add new plugin. Yeah. Am I spelling that right? Oh, it's P-I-O-T-N-E-T. P-I-O-T-N-E-T. I-O-T. This right here. Find it add-on. Net add-ons for Elementor. P-A-F-E add-ons, or adds many new features for Elementor. Open it up and you can see gradient text, gradient button, image carousel, multiple custom URLs, before after image comparison slider, switch content, saved templates, short code with Elementor free, tooltip, video playlist. Yeah, you can install this and it gives you a lot of nice new features that doesn't come with Elementor straight out of the box. And you have these are the free features here, and these are the pro features. So this thing is like jam-packed full of features, especially with the pro version. Even with the free version, I mean, it's quite a lot of new features that Elementor doesn't come with. So that's what I'm saying. Like, Elementor is very versatile. You can do a lot of stuff with the free version of Elementor just using a bunch of different add-ons, just because it's the most popular page builder. So there's add-ons for Elementor that just aren't available for any other page builder that can turn Elementor into just something that you can make really, really nice professional websites with without even buying a pro version of Elementor. But I do highly recommend you get the pro version of Elementor, because sometimes the add-ons, sometimes crappy add-ons, they don't work right. They may break your website. So you don't want to have too many add-ons on to Elementor, or you just don't want to have too many different plugins on your website, period, because sometimes the plugins can break your website. It doesn't happen very often, but it can happen, and you don't want to have to be trying to figure out which plugin did what and what plugin didn't do that. So keep your plugins to a minimum. Try not to get too fancy. And yeah, a lot of the most popular websites, the UI, the design is pretty simple. Like Twitter, the design is pretty simple. There's not a whole lot of fancy moving elements that pulsate and glow and do some fancy animations, but yet they still have millions and billions of users, you know, daily. So how fancy your website is, how many animations, how many features you have on different elements on your website doesn't really matter. All you need to have is really good design. Just make it look nice, make it look appealing, and make it look professional. So the reason I'm saying this is because you don't need to have a whole bunch of plugins on to give you a whole bunch of different features. They're not necessary. It's good to have, and they're okay in certain circumstances. When you're trying to draw attention to certain elements, it's fine to have some animations there. And a lot of these, a lot of the page builders, well, the two page builders that we're going to discuss, actually, only Elementor offers the animation as far as I know right now. But you can still draw attention to certain elements using Brizy as well by doing an entry animation. Like when the page first load, the button will slide in to the left, slide in from the right, or fade in, or whatnot like that. And you can put a delay there so that it comes on your website within a couple of seconds or a few milliseconds. Well, a few hundred milliseconds, maybe 500 milliseconds, which would be half a second. A delay since after the page loads, which will draw attention to that element, because everything's loaded on the screen. Then you see this button just come flying in. It draws attention to it. So there are ways that you can draw attention to certain elements without having to have some fancy animation or a pop-up help tip menu when you hover over the button, which won't work on mobile devices anyway. So the best way to draw attention to elements would be to just have an animation, an entry animation, or an animation where the element is moving a little bit, you know, as the viewer is looking at the website. So let's move forward. I think we're pretty much done here with Elementor. Let's move on to the next step, which would be Brizy. So let's make a page using the Brizy plugin. the Brizy page builder. Well, it is a plugin. Well, an add-on, not a plugin. So we're going to use the Brizy page builder and build out another website, and let's go. Yeah, that's the one we were working on. And yeah, let's show what it looks like now on the preview. That's not the preview button, that's the preview button. All right, so that's what our page looks like. Now again, you can play around with this. Just use the features. Don't be afraid to use the features because there is an undo button. So whatever change you make that doesn't look right, doesn't go well with the idea that you're going for, then you can always change it. Just hit the undo button. And as I've shown before, there is a list. If you choose the history button, which is the undo button, if you hit it once, it'll undo. Or if you just hit Control-Z on your keyboard, that's undo. It'll undo whatever change you made. Or you can go to the history button right there. There's no history because I didn't make any changes today. But as you're building a web page out, you'll see a list of all the changes that you've made right here on the history section under the actions tabs. And I'm not sure what the revisions thing is. Oh, okay. So the revisions would be, let's see that. Let's go there. What's that about? 6 days ago. So the revisions is by date. I guess you can click that and it will go back to the last change that was made on that day. So 6 days ago, I made a change and that's where we are right there. But anyway, if you make a mistake, don't be afraid to play around with the elements on Elementor. Don't be afraid to make changes to the settings so you can find out what the settings do. You know, it's easy. It's a graphical user interface. There's no coding required. It just takes a little bit of practice. That's all. So let's move on and go on to building out a page using Brizy. All right, so you have successfully completed the second section of this tutorial, which involves installing a few useful WordPress plugins, building out a basic web page with Elementor, going over a few basic features, and going through some features in the Elementor settings. Now, this course is not intended to make you 100% efficient with using the Elementor or the Brizy page builder, but the intention of this course is to get you familiarized with using a page builder. Now, you will have to practice and play around with the page builders in order to build something that you can be proud of. But that is entirely up to you, and hopefully I've done a good job at getting you acclimated with the Elementor page builder so that we can move on to the third section of this tutorial, which involves building a web page with the Brizy page builder. Now, the link is down below for the third section of this tutorial. So I will see you guys on the other side. And I guess that is peace for now. Peace.